Today we will be working on the lift pump or mechanical fuel pump for a 1993 Dodge D350, also known as a first gen Cummins. The tools that you will need for this repair are rather simple. For my truck, again, like I said, I'm working on a first gen Cummins, which are slightly different than some second gen Cummins. I needed a 17 millimeter line wrench, a 17 millimeter normal wrench. I don't know what to call those. We have a 14 millimeter line wrench, a screwdriver. Sometimes you'll need a socket in exchange for that. A smaller socket with some extensions. I believe you're supposed to use a 10 millimeter socket, but I used a 13/32 socket, and a replacement fuel pump. So this is the old pump on my truck. I'll go show you the where it's located and where the new pump on the truck is, just so I can show you in closer detail. This part right here is where your low pressure fuel line will lead up to. This is where it's coming from your fuel tank. It then goes inside of here, and I believe your camshaft hits this little lever on the inside and will pump fuel into this line, which is your high pressure fuel line, and then goes into your fuel pump. On first gen Cummins it is a VE pump. On some second gen Cummins it's a P7100 pump or a VP pump. This is a VE pump right here. That is the pump that has been giving me problems. It was about a week ago. I thought I had ran out of fuel, and we put some more diesel in it, let it sit overnight, changed the fuel filter, ran fine for about a week, and I ran into the same problem again driving around last night. I picked this up from O'Reilly's for around, I think it was 67 bucks, something like that. The fuel filter was around 15 bucks from the same place. I just got a quick one just in change. I think there are some nicer, better ones out there, but I just needed one for the time being. There is another style fuel pump that I've seen on second gen Dodge Rams that the Hungry Diesel makes for around $245, $215. It's that style, and you got to do a couple different modifications to the block for your fuel line, but let's get in a little bit closer. So this is your fuel line that is running from your tank up to the lift pump. You have a fitting there, which I believe is a 15 or a 17 millimeter fuel line. That's where you'll need one of the line wrenches. This one is a 14 millimeter, and then that is where I use a 13/32 socket. I believe it's a 10 millimeter, but I could be wrong. So the way I removed it was remove that bolt there, the bolt on the other side. I then moved up to the top here and I undid this banjo bolt. I was then able to remove the soft, the low pressure fuel line and pull the whole pump out. I then set it up in some vice grips to remove the fuel line there and there, and I was able to then reinstall the fuel lines onto the new pump and bolt it back in. Some people will remove the master cylinder up here by removing this nut over here. I didn't feel like messing with the brakes just because I've had a bad history with them and did not want to mess with them. It's not that difficult of a repair job. It took me about an hour, and it was my first time doing it. The truck runs great now. It sounds healthier. We'll go ahead and fire her up.